still jump online. Then when we jump online, just make sure that I'll check around to see if I have those papers for you or something for you in preparation for the exam. But you'll see the good part, man. I promise you this. They ask questions very much like how it's asked in the textbook.
So which things are popular
For the exam, you'll definitely get like your learning unit. That's linear programming is there. But the good part, they don't make it the whole paper. And they'll ask sections of it. They won't ask the whole thing. You see, what they like is that calculation of what's the optimal, what's this product mix. Then they also why do I always forget this? Unit 3. You know, Unit 3 is break even. Those things. They love that as well. So, but anyway, let me get into this here. So, yeah, they will ask a bit of it. They will ask a bit of it, but yeah, from a theory perspective. But you'll see 1 and 2. Yeah, it'll be there. It'll be there, here and there, because isn't that your budget? It'll be there. Yeah, it'll be there. But I promise you, once you start to, you'll see when you sit down with one, and you'll see how they keep asking the same questions. So once you start practicing those past papers, you'll be fine. No, as in answers. Yeah, there isn't answers. So I'm just going to check if I have any, if I did any and stash them somewhere, any suggested answers with the questions. And then that's what I can then share with you online and say, okay, and preparation also just do 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, man, you'll be all right. You'll be all right. Yeah. I know this thing is stressing you.
It's just doing it before.
Yeah, with the linear.
Yeah. Okay. The rest
will So let's see what's going on here in 7.1. 7.1, they're saying under the required, calculate the optimal sales units of due and Anno in order to maximize group profits. Calculate the minimum goal congruent transfer price. Calculate the maximum goal congruent transfer price. Suggest an optimal transfer price. Okay. Trying to see something here. I'm in the on the wrong. I should be in 2B. This is where I should be. Something's influenced. Okay, whilst that's loading, I think we can go through the question. It says the due division sells its product on the open market, which has the following demand and price relationship. Okay, so there we have demand, there we have the price per unit. Due manufactures up to 1,400 units at full production capacity. Okay, and has the following cost structures. Okay, so here are costs. The Anno division, which purchases Due's product to use in its manufacturing process, has an incremental cost for its product of 180, excluding the cost of Due's product. Anno incurs a fixed cost of 50,000 per month. Okay. Anno has received an order of 800 units per month of its product to an external customer at a selling price of 670 per unit. The customer has indicated that it is prepared to buy 600 products per month at a selling price of 700 per unit, but it will look for alternative suppliers if Anno cannot supply 700 units in the long term. Okay. Right. Do is prepared to sell a maximum number of its products to Anno at an existing market price of 400 per unit. Anno says that it is only prepared to pay variable costs plus 25% for 800 units of Do's product. Do will not incur any sales or distribution costs on sales to Anno. Okay. All right, so let's go down to unit 7 there. Okay. Right. So let me zoom in here. Okay. So the first part of what we're trying to do, trying to ensure that you can see clearly. The first part of what we're trying to do there is calculate the optimal sales units of Do and Anno in order to maximize group profits. Okay. So I am the right question. I knew it. Okay, so I didn't even do learning 7.1. It seems I did 7.3 and 7.2. Yeah, the answers are at the back of the textbook as well. I didn't do 7.1. Wow, interesting. Okay, but there you can see, if you look at 7.1, you can see calculation of dues, variable, and fixed costs. Okay, so then you have for 600 units, and then for 1,000 units. Okay, how are they getting for 1,000 units? I'm sure they're just dividing and using units. All right, cool. Difference is for 400 units. Okay. Yeah. Oh, so that information was given. Okay. Okay. So there now, I think now they then find out what is the variable cost. Once they've got the difference for 400 units, as you can see there in that third column there, they then work out per unit. And then per unit, that's you get your variable cost there. And then obviously the fixed cost is always going to be the fixed cost. Then the calculation of dues contribution. So at the different selling prices there for 600 Rand, sorry, 600 units, 800 units, and then 1.1 at the different selling prices there. You get your different revenues and your different variable costs, and then get your different contributions. And then there, obviously, you can see the maximum contribution is that 152,000. So then, obviously, then the optimal output is 800 because it's the 800 units that's yielding the 152,000 in revenue. Just trying to see something here. Here, I feel like received an order of 800 units per month. Okay, cool. Anno cannot supply. Customer has indicated they're prepared to buy 600 units per month. The selling price is 700. Okay. So 600, and then they go 800, and then I'm just wondering, why do they then go from 600, they go to 800, and then they go to 1.1? Where are they getting that 1.1 from? That's what I'm curious about. Because I didn't see or hear them mention anything about 1.1 units in the question. Oh, there, the first table. You see the demand level, units, 1.1. So they were doing it based on that and on the selling price. Okay, now it makes more sense. So the simple job there is to get the variable cost per unit, which is what they did in table 1, and then get the total fixed, and then you can start to build your case. Okay. Right, then calculation of Anno's contribution. Okay, demand units. All right, selling price, total revenue, cool. Variable costs, A and B. And then your contributions there. Okay, so if you look there on the second table, you're getting your maximum profit from the 800 units also for Anno. So you can see there the group wants to maximize profits and sales, so it will want to maximize profits of both Anno and Do and Anno. Choices available. Does selling 600 units externally okay 108 another okay. Right. So I think yeah, you're just gonna have to dissect that one bit by bit as you go along. But yeah, you can see what they're doing step by step. They're not just analyzing where they're getting the most profit from. And here they say the best option is to sell the maximum to sell 600 units externally and 800 units internally to Anno. Let's see what they're asking there in the second bit. Calculate the minimum goal congruent transfer price. Okay, the maximum transfer price would be the variable cost of the selling division plus the marginal contribution lost by Anno if it were to only sell 600 units instead of 800 units externally. Yeah. So you're good with 7.1. Okay. Yeah. Suggest an optimal transfer price. I just want to see what they're asking there. Okay, Do has asked to transfer price of per unit its existing market price. Do cannot sell more than 800 units. Any price between the variable of and selling price will increase to profits. Anno has requested a transfer price cost plus 25%, 800 units. Transfer price would be okay. Okay. So basically, isn't there saying if you check the third part, they're just saying the last part, the fourth bit. So basically, I think how they get to that 301 and 25 rand is they're just saying what is the average between the two, between 202 rand 50 and 400 rand. That's the price that they're saying is ideal is 301 rand 25 cents. They say suggest an ideal transfer price. That was the question. So basically, they averaged it out between what is their variable cost and what is the market price. Yeah. So that's how they handled that. Okay. Okay. Then going on to, let's just quickly see. I want to see if which one between 7.2 and 7.3 is similar to 7.1. Then we'll leave that one and then just do the other. Calculate the effect that the existing transfer pricing system has on company profits. Okay. Calculate the impact of company profits if the transfer price were changed to 13 Rand 20 cents per unit. Okay. So this one is pretty simple. It's just a thing of they'll obviously tell you what their current pricing strategy is in 7.2, and then obviously you're then calculating the profit that the company is going to incur or should incur, all right, based on that strategy. And then part B, they're obviously just saying calculate the impact on company profits if the transfer price would change to 13 Rand 20 cents per unit. But let's see what they're asking in 7.3, if it's any different. Calculate the monthly profit position of Ludo and Moot if the sales of Ludo are maintained at present level. Okay? Calculate the monthly profit position of Ludo and Moot if the sales of Ludo are at a higher sales level. Comment on the use of market price as the transfer price. Okay. Recommend an appropriate transfer price. So it seems like both of them are pretty much quite similar. Quite similar. And then you have 7.4, which is just multiple choice questions. So there you can see already, it's not that bad. It's just, customizing yourself to obviously retrieving the important information. I'm just going to have a look though at these answers as to see what they'll be expecting you to do. So here's 7.3. Here you see profit statement of Moot. All right, so here you've got the sales of 1 million. All right. Okay, and then you've got your costs there. You're establishing your variable cost, throw in your fixed cost to get to your profits. Okay, so that's the profits of Moot. To get your profits for Ludo, same scenario. You're establishing your revenue, whatever variable costs, then you throw in your fixed costs, then you get your profit. Done with part one, because there they just wanted you to get the monthly profit position. Okay, then part two, they were saying calculate the monthly profit position of Ludo and Moot if the sales of Ludo are at a higher sales level. Higher sales level. So here, obviously, I'm sure if you look in the question somewhere, they'll probably give an indication of what that sales level actually is. So I'm not sure. I see 1,000. Yeah, so it's just about reading through the question there. And then once you've done that, obviously you change your sales. Variable cost is also going to change according to the number of units. And yeah, then you calculate the profit. Okay, so nothing hectic there. It's just getting your numbers right. The third bit, they're saying comment. No, am I reading the right question? Comment on the use of market price as a transfer price. Recommend the appropriate transfer price. Maximum transfer price would be 8 Rand. Okay, let me just see here the answers. I want to see if I just didn't section out. That was 7.3. Okay, so I actually, that last bit on screen is actually part 4. So in terms of part 3, what they're actually giving us the answer there, they're saying the use of market price may give rise to problems as Ludo is not motivated to reduce its selling price to increase volume. Its profits decline by 130,000 if it does so. In contrast, the profit of Moot increased by 192,000. Hence, the profits of the group as a whole increased by 62,000 in this scenario. Despite this, the transfer price does not achieve goal congruency in both subsidiaries. Okay. Right. So I think with a lot of these questions, it's really just looking at the information, looking at what you've been able to calculate, and then coming up with logical reasons, whichever argument you obviously pitch, as long as we can see logic in it. Okay, in this scenario, it will be very easy to establish the correct answer as long as you've calculated the things correct, because obviously you're going for the one that will give the most profit, or be most beneficial for both parties involved. And then you're home and dry. And then here, with transfer prices, I'm seeing if you look at the two questions that we've done, both of them they said the transfer price should be set between 8 Rand 66 cents and 4 Rand per batch of 10 units. So with transfer prices, the reason why your answer should be, you should say a lot of between, is because the lowest price will be, okay, what is the cost of this thing to the department that's selling? And then the top will be, okay, what is the max that they want to sell, maybe market related, or what your calculation has established. Then you know that, okay, in between this, both parties are winning because this one's covering its cost, and then obviously anything more than that is making a profit. And then obviously, you know, if you say 4 Rand, then obviously it's just cheap. It's not too much for the other departments, so forth, so forth. So yeah, just something there I think you should use when you are writing your exam, or your exam, because this won't be in the test. So yeah, that is 7.3. Should we quickly browse 7.2 and see what there's going on there? Just get a feel for what's happening there as well. Okay. So obviously, in order to answer this question, because in 7.2 they're saying calculate the effect that the existing transfer policy system has on company profits. So there, you obviously have to calculate according to the existing. First, variable cost per unit for each division, got that. Then optimum level of intermediate product for division X, optimal final product. Okay, right. Okay, there we go. Impact on company profits if transfer price is 13 Rand 20 variable cost to the optimal output of Z. Summary. Okay. So here the final answer that they're saying. I don't think I actually. No, I didn't. Yeah, doesn't seem like I actually copied it, but it says the manager of Division Z will choose to an optimum level of 5.5 units at a selling price of 99 Rand per unit. This is a suboptimal for the group as a whole, as the profit on sale of the final product will be reduced from 272,550 to 250, 7,900 to 5,500 units. The 250,520 can be allocated between the divisions as follows. Right. I don't know if that makes any sense to you. Is it making any sense to you there? Yeah. Okay. All right. And then, so just going into Unit 8. I don't have Unit 8 on the software package there. But literally, you'll see there, the agenda is pretty simple. You'll see that's why they usually have only 2 questions, and then they have the third one is then just one choice. Questions with the small questions. All you need to do there is literally read through the question. For 8.1, you can see there. Let me see. Do I? Maybe I do. But, oh, because yeah, the last time I was checking, I was looking at AI. So maybe yeah, it's fine. But I know I only did probably 8.1 and I think 8.2. So if you look at 8.1, it says calculate return on investment and residual income of each division for 2003 and 2005. Okay. Right. So as I was saying, literally your job there is to first calculate, okay, what are my incomes? What information have they given me? So you want to just decide, am I going to start with residual income or am I going to start with, let me zoom out a little bit. Oh, no, shit. Or am I going to start with return on investment? So here, for some reason, we started with residual income. Okay. So you've got your net profit there. Okay. Then add back head office costs, less interest on capital. Okay. So then we're saying this. Okay, so literally, okay, so here you're adding that back, you add it to that, and then you're minusing the 500,000. Okay, and you're doing that every one of those years. Okay, which is then leading you to the actual final amount. that you're having there. So you can see here in 2003, we actually would not approve this project since it's a negative. Remember, this is residual income.
So what do you mean?
Remember, we said when it comes to residual income, if the amount is positive, then we'll go ahead with the project. If it's negative, we won't go ahead with the project. Here, you can see it's consistently positive. So obviously, we take this. Well, yeah, we probably take this project over the other project if we were comparing the two, but here they're actually just wanting us to do the calculations. Another thing is one could just say, okay, they're willing to take a negative in the first year because here you get more income. I think when you add, yes, when you add those balances there. Okay. So you could argue both ways. Okay. Add back office costs. That's interest. Okay. Right. Then here, return on investment. So here, what are we doing? We're saying, remember, it's net profit divided by capital employed. So that's all, and that's how you're getting to these percentages over here, literally. So here again, you can see return on investment, 38%, 48%, 58%. In all 3 years, you can see that division branch is higher than that of division leaf. And here you can see, again, remember the residual income. We had a consistent one, and here we had negatives, and here we had quite high. So I think if you were comparing the two divisions, I know that's not part of the question, chances are you would go with the division branch. Oof, what am I doing now? Okay, so I just want to quickly go over 8.2. So as I was saying, this is all they literally ask in Unit 8. It's really just residual income and return on investment. And what was the other one? Return on capital employed. Yeah, that's it. So here, what are they asking in 8.2? Let's see. Calculate the impact of accepting the contract with the customer on divisional return on capital employed and residual income. Decide whether the contract should be accepted. Okay. Repeat the calculation in the first part, assuming that the annuity depreciation method is used on the newly acquired machinery. So there again, all you're calculating is basically return on capital employed and residual income this time. The first one was return on investment and residual income. So there you go. Capital employed. So there you have your opening capital employed. Okay, so first you have to do this calculation to find out what was your opening capital employed for each year. Then you can do the calculation of return on capital employed. Okay, sales, da 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 da. You need to calculate your residual income, in other words, like net profit. Right. Okay. They've never really asked this to do this. This is like a financial calculator thing that we typically do on financial calculators. So I'm just letting you know they've never really asked this in the exam. They usually just ask the calculation for capital employed, and then the calculation for residual income and return on investment. So there's your, they've just combined the answers together there. There's your return on capital employed, Ba, ba, ba. Yeah, and then you are home and dry. So that is it. Calculation. Okay, so here what they're doing is they're calculating capital employed for two different things. There's the contract, A, and then B, there's the machinery. That machinery. And that's it. But yeah, unit 8, you want to obviously